moment. Traction 9th, Gamer Dad 10th. Look how wide Crazies has gone then. That's going to allow Traction to go through. Crazies is going to fight that. He's got the inside line though. We should drift that out wide a little bit. Yeah, it covers that off, but then Traction's tried to get a little bit of a cutback. You could see as they were going through Luffield there, slightly different lines. Right, let's have a look. Are we going to get a move? Be brave. Come on, Traction. That's not really on. On the Aston, she... okay, so... Crazies, that happened before, and so that back end's going really light on turning as Gamer Dad comes flying past on the right hand side there. Again, so Traction, you can count yourself unlucky there, mate, because you had to get out of the way. Crazy's back end was on its way, and you took evasive action. You're trying too hard. Slow it down, mate. And that caused you to go off track. So you are still alive though, but now SOP Steve, who's made that move on Marek. Remember that was a battle we were watching earlier on. That Beamer, and he's managed to make that move on him. So now SOP in that Porsche, he's looking to try and get onto the back of Traction and capitalise. Marek's still in 12th place, and then Kino in the other Ferrari, so that's Pony Feeder's teammate. He's 6/10ths further back. Chica's 14th. Remember, Chica's so far, he's not had a great race. He obviously had an issue earlier on. We saw a spin or an off on the track, and that's put him way out of place. He's in 14th. GT's a piece of Gamer Dad. Let's go on board with Gamer Dad because he's also hunting down Crazies. I'm gonna get a good audio of these cars because they all sound absolutely fantastic. You can see that Traction was able to get the power down quicker as they come onto the Hamilton straight down towards Emily. Let's see how committed Gamer Dad is through here. Nice, beautiful through there, nice and stable. Traction gets through there as well. On the brakes, nice and hard, down to first, get her tucked in. Look to be halfway across, then you want to be pulling that over to the left, the right hand side, hard on the brakes, get her turned in. You can hear the Traction kicking in there as well. Onto the Wellington straight, so... I would actually be very interested to see if Crazies has the same issue that he has done on the last couple of laps I've watched him into Cops. So, you know, for knowledge purposes, I'm going to stick on and I'm going to have a look at this because Traction's looking pretty racy and SOP Steve isn't too far behind. So, let's see what happens through Cops. Traction's really closing in on that. So look at Crazies in front. No, she was alright that time. So maybe it was just because she was being pushed so hard. You know, it took his eye off the ball slightly as we go into Maggots and Beckett's. Traction's not going to get a move done there. Look at these cars just moving around. It's absolutely awesome. Traction. Wow. I mean, he was pretty much off the ground there, wasn't he? Look at that. Okay, brilliant. So let's go back. There's some great racing tonight. This is just the first one. Can't wait for the second one either. Michael is still doing what he needs to do. He's got a 2.5 second lead, so he's got to be happy with that. Nelio, you know what? It's a brilliant drive so far from you, mate, in third place in that Ferrari. But Fresh Brizzle has got himself up. Spazie's obviously had an off because he was running third or fourth. He's now down in 6th. So Fresh Brizzle and Pony Feed have moved up as Traction goes off track there. He's pushing so hard, but you're going to invite pressure from SOP Steve shortly, mate. ERT Milden's doing a great job there in 7th place. Then we're watching Crazies is just in front of this battle here. Gamer Dad and Traction, they've been having a great fight for the last couple of laps. SOP Steve is just keeping a watching brief behind them in the Porsche, hoping to pick up some pieces if something happens. And then Marek Mariola in that Beamer has not had the greatest, not the greatest of races. He had a really good battle with SOP Steve. Kino is, I think Kino's got damage. I know he's only 3/10ths behind. I do want to have a look at that, but I feel a move coming. Here. Traction closes right up onto the back of Gamer Dad. GT Jamie's still running. He's in 14th. Evan IRL in the number 2 McLaren. He's running in 16th. And then we've got Hutch 17th and IR Graham in 18th. If you're wondering why is IR Graham, who's second place in the championship by 8 points in 18th, that is because he had a great start off the line. It's Traction, Dave and Gamer Dad look like wow, how did they not touch? How did they not touch there? Gamer Dad's forced to go wide there. Right, let's get on board with traction. It's probably got to curse him now as we go for Maggots and Beckett's. Let's hope it doesn't. Let's watch him put some pressure on down the hanger straight. A little bit of oversteer there. You can see the steering corrections. And off we go. It's a good run out of there. Yeah, so I was saying, IR Graham, he qualified only 6th. So obviously had quite a lot to do. Had contact with GT Jamie and the Lamborghini in the first corner. Both of those two obviously went sailing off the track. And that's why he finds himself last. I mean, if it's tactical, as I said before, I don't think that's going to work for him. If Michael wins the race, I think Graham needs to get up the field a bit. But with no mandatory stops, if you are going to take a stop for damage in this race, it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you a lot. Which may be why he's just elected to stay out. As these three carry on having their beautiful fight. As they go steaming through Abbey there. Down into Village. Traction's going for it. Traction's gone for a late move. And he's got to stop that. Traction. Well, that was a fantastic move, guys. That was an amazing move. Beautiful on the brakes there. He got her stopped. Turned in perfectly on the apex. Gamer Dad can't really complain about that. That releases Traction to go and have a nibble at Crazies, which I'm sure he will. And SOP Steve, you can see just behind in the Porsche. Well, he looks like he's lining up a go on Gamer Dad as well. So let's have a look at that. As Traction, you can see, I would suggest Gamer Dad was holding him up because he's left him, hasn't he? Crazies, here we go. We're picking him up in the same place as always with pressure. Let's see what that back end does. Watch that steering wheel. Let's see how much he has to turn left potentially. No, not at all, but Traction's got a great drive out of there. Traction, he wants to move. Crazies, he's just going to squeeze that slightly. He's not going to go through there. They're not going to go too abreast through there. Traction does the right thing and backs out. Crazies manages to get through there nice and tight. Beautiful lines, down changing at the right times, keeping that momentum going. And that was beautiful through there, Crazies. But Traction, well, he's not having none of it. And you could just see Gamer Dad and SOP, those two are really, really close as well. Just behind them, you can see it there at the top of the picture. So we've got battles going on everywhere. It looks like Traction's trying to make a move then. Lucky that didn't spit him out. You could see the back end tried to snap back on him. So Michael's still winning at the front. Lenny's still second place, 1.7 behind. Nelio's holding that last podium place. But Fresh Brizzle, look at that. He's brought that down by a second. He's only 4/10 behind. So that's going to develop into a fight. We've got just 4.5 minutes left of this. It's been absolutely frantic. Amazing. Absolutely amazing stuff. Gamer Dad's in at 10th. SOP is right on him as well. Look at this. We've got battles everywhere. Everywhere. Look, we've got 4 of them. And Gamer Dad, he's obviously our featured driver. So I think we've got 2 minutes left. I think we need to enjoy this quartet. All playing their own tune, through their own instrument, sounding beautiful, challenging each other. Every position counts. It's double points. Everything can make a difference. As you see, Crazies, oh, she's a handful. He positioned that well. He was really holding on to her there. He was understeering. Traction wants a piece. Gamer Dad. Oh my word. Right, I'm going to stay on for this bit. We'll keep an eye. Well, we'll watch all of them from here, shall we? Thanks, Crazies, for being my camera. We'll see what Crazies does through Cops. Seems to have had that more stable. Oh my word, Traction. Wow. Traction's going to get a good run out of there. Look at that run he's got. Same as last time. Traction's probably been watching that for a few laps, thinking, okay, potentially that Aston's a bit weak through there. Gamer Dad is now coming up to the back of Traction again. So now Traction's in a sandwich and he's thinking, right, I want this position of Crazies. I know I'm faster, and he probably is quicker in terms of qualifying pace and all those things. Gamer Dad runs a bit wide there, just slightly onto the grass. That might give SOP Steve an opportunity. But you've got to remember, Traction pulled a great move off on the brakes late earlier on Gamer Dad, and I'm just wondering if he's going to set him up for the same as they come down hard on the brakes. Very defensive from Crazies. Parks that car nicely. Great defensive driving. Traction, he's not giving up though. Traction wants a piece. Come on, guys, this is amazing. But you can't deny Crazies is placing that car beautifully. Good commitment from the boys. This is where Traction made his move earlier on the brakes. That late move, Crazies goes defensive, just covers that apex off, and Traction clobbers that sausage curb. Didn't need that. That's brought Gamer Dad right onto the back of him. And then you got the Porsche of SOP Steve. Michael's on the final lap then. I can't really come off this, to be honest with you, because this is some of the best racing I've seen that you guys will have seen as well. Michael is still out up top, Lenny's still second, Nelio is still in third place, so those three haven't changed. Fresh Brizzle's dropped off by about 5/10, so he's now almost a second behind in fourth place. Then we've got Spacey and ERT Milden currently in sixth place still. Great drive from him. Look how close, look at that mirror down the bottom there. Traction's closing up all the time. Pony Feeder's had a great one so far in the seventh place, and then we were Crazy's Traction, Gamer Dad and SOP Steve. Keno DJ, he's having a good solid run there as we come into Cops. How's she gonna go for you? Yeah, you can hear the throttle's on slightly there just to keep a little bit of weight on the back end, which was obviously giving him some issues earlier on as they come up into Magnus and Beckett's for the last time. Marek Mariola is still in 13th place, Chica 14th, Jamie I think is running with damage in 15th, then we've got Evan in 16th, and then Graham and Hutch bringing up the rear in 17th and 18th. So, did you get all that? Good. Let's keep an eye like this, shall we? And you've got a battle right at the back there. There's two just coming through Maggots and Beckett. So as they come up towards Stowe, it's now or never. Are we going to get a lunge? Is Traction going to go all or nothing here? He's trying to go around the outside. He was going for a cutback then. He's not. He's trying to force the issue because he knows that Crazies keep sticking that on the apex. Great driving. Oh, I think if Traction had been a bit braver then, Crazies would have given him the room. I think he would have given him the room to make that move, but Traction again with some good driving backed out of that, and that now allows Gamer Dad to get all over the back of him. It looks like Michael's finished. I can't come off this. Cannot come off this battle. As we come through towards the end, there he goes. He's trying. Do you know what? You can't fault that. Brilliant driving from Crazies there. Great defensive driving. Brilliant attacking driving from Traction, but also being aware of the fact that Crazies was going to defend in that way, and Gamer Dad behind did exactly the same thing. This is the type of racing we get here every single day. Oh no, oh Traction, good job you dude. So Traction, he went for a late move there. He got all